Okay. Can everybody hear okay? Good. The program that I'm going to present today is really one that Brenda presented at PETS in March. PETS is President-Elect Training Seminar. It's a 2-day training event that all incoming Rotary Club presidents have to go through. Ours encompasses 3 different districts, the entire state of Arkansas, and of course District 6110, which includes parts of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. George Payton, several years ago, included one session in the PETS training that was a model Rotary Club meeting. Clay Langley has been heavily involved in that for the last several years, and Brenda and I have done that too. We show to the incoming presidents the kinds of elements that might be in a Rotary Club. Clay serves as the model president, if you can believe that, and does a good job. But what we've done is incorporate a short program just to show them that there is a program. You need to make sure they get the program podium on time and they sit down on time as well. So what you're about to hear is an abbreviated program that we did that runs about 8 to 10 minutes at PETS. And we did this to introduce to you and to the incoming presidents a friend of mine and a past district governor of our district, 6110, that's from our club in Mountain Home. A lot of people don't know Dr. Ben Salzman. Don Wasson and George Payton, and some of the older people remember Ben, but he is an outstanding servant of mankind, and he was able to do that primarily through Rotary. I first knew Ben Salzman because there was a group of couples, 8 or 10 couples, that got together on the 2nd and 4th Thursday nights of every month for a potluck dinner, and they rotated from house to house. They first called it a supper club, then later they called it pinochle, because while the women were washing dishes and talking about their grandchildren, the men would go play pinochle. It's a card game that I never did figure out. But that's where I first met Dr. Ben Salzman and his wife Betty. When my father proposed me for membership in Rotary in 1972, I had my new member orientation in Dr. Ben's living room. He had a Kodak carousel slide projector and a big screen similar to this one in his living room. And at that time, 1972, I'd never seen that much technology anywhere. Bank didn't have computers back then, so I mean it was a big deal. So that was my introduction to Dr. Ben. He was on the leading edge. Oh, don't go dead, battery. Turn it on. And it works. He was indeed a pioneer in the polio effort that later became Polio Plus for Rotary. Ben Salzman was born in Connecticut. He and his wife Betty moved to Arkansas in 1945 after he served as a medical officer in World War II. Soon after moving to Mountain Home, he helped charter the Rotary Club of Mountain Home in 1946. Salzman opened the town's first medical clinic that eventually became part of Baxter Regional Medical Center. For many years, Dr. Salzman flew his private plane from north central Arkansas to Memphis, Tennessee. Our Rotary Club had helped support a crippled children's hospital in Memphis. And Ben would fly down there in his private plane, sometimes taking some of the members with him, specifically working with children who were crippled with polio. Over the decades, Dr. Ben, as he's known to fellow Rotarians, was an active member of Rotary at the local, district, and international level. Is this cutting in and out?
Cut. Here, try this one.
Over the decades, Dr. Ben, as he is known to fellow Rotarians, was an active member of Rotary at the local, district, and international levels. He became the only 2-term district governor of our district, 6110, and he went on to serve at the highest levels and the highest platform as a member of the Board of Directors of Rotary International in 1961 and 63. In 1974, Dr. Ben's name was going to be placed in nomination for president of Rotary International at the annual meeting in Lake Placid, New York. But just days before the meeting, he suffered a mild heart attack while speaking to a Rotary Club in Oklahoma. So he withdrew his name from nomination, but it was reported at the time that he would have been selected unanimously. In 1978, Rotary International President Clem Renouf, seen here on the far right beside Dr. Ben, was searching for an identity for his organization, Rotary. Something to help answer the question, what does Rotary do? Lions had their site, or their burn hospital. Lions have site, and the Shriners had their burn hospitals. And when people would ask what Rotary did, nobody really came up with an answer. Why was that? Because Rotary clubs for years around the world had done their local and international programs without a lot of fanfare, believing that getting the projects done was more important than taking credit. So, under Renouf's leadership, the 3H program, Health, Hunger, and Humanity, was born. These were the three identified areas that Rotary came up with that had the greatest needs around the world. Dr. Ben Salzman was named one of the first co-chairmen of the 3H program, serving in the area of health. 1978 was the year I was president of our club. And Clem Renouf put out an appeal to the clubs to try to raise $15 per member. At that time, there were 1 million Rotarians around the world. To do that, they created a fund of $15 million from which to fund projects in the area of health, hunger, and humanity. At that time, Dr. Ben said, I mentioned to the RI board that while polio had not been a health issue in the United States since the 50s, it was still a killer and crippler of children around the world. And with the availability of vaccine, an immunization project might be a good first step. Well, initially the RI board decided to table the idea of immunizations for 3 years. At that point, Dr. Ben is said to have commented, and how many children are we willing to let die before Rotary does something about it? Then under Salzman's guidance, the board of directors approved the initial immunization project in the Philippines later that year in 1978, and within 2 years, more than 6 million children had received 2 drops of polio vaccine. In fact, it was the success of that first project that provided the impetus for Rotary International to announce Polio Plus in 1985, one of the most aggressive global health initiatives ever undertaken. At that time, there were 1,000 new cases of polio in the world every day. 1,000 new cases every day. Now, 30 years later, the job is 99% complete, with only 22 cases of polio anywhere in the world in 2017, and only 8 so far this year. So the quest to completely eradicate polio continues. Today, we're this close. As shown by golf legend Jack Nicklaus, who, by the way, is a polio survivor himself. A few days ago, my wife and I had just heard the newest figure, only 8 cases this year versus 1,000 a day when this began. And I said, who would have dreamed we could have come this far? And as soon as I said that, I realized Dr. Ben did. Dr. Ben dreamed we could do this. Well, Ben continued on in the medical field, being elected to serve as the director of the Arkansas Department of Health. He served there under 3 governors, which led to his being named Man of the Year in Arkansas in 1989. But he also remained active in Rotary until the end of his life, traveling the world with his wife Betty as goodwill ambassadors for Rotary International. Here's a photo of Ben by his bronze statue that stands in the Salzman Library at Arkansas State University Mountain Home. As you can see, he insisted that his bust include a Rotary lapel pin because he was never seen without it. In his final battle with dementia, The care center staff told me that Dr. Ben got up every morning, put on his suit and tie, did his Rotary pin, and stood standing by the front door of the facility, telling them, I'm ready to go to my Rotary meeting. So it's no wonder that this Rotarian extraordinaire was on the board of directors of Rotary International and became a trustee of the Rotary Foundation. He was the recipient of Rotary's Citation for Meritorious Service and the Distinguished Service Award, as well as being named one of the world's 35 Polio Plus pioneers. In 2014, the Rotary Club of Mountain Home held a special community-wide Dr. Ben Salzman Day. The board of directors placed a plaque in the new children's wing at the same hospital where he had practiced for decades. It hangs outside a fully equipped room that the club donated in honor of Dr. Ben's vision and significant medical contributions to the children of the world. Dr. Ben's leadership journey began in Rotary when he served as president of the Rotary Club of Mountain Home in 1949, almost 70 years ago. So I ask you, fellow Rotarians, long after polio has been eradicated, what will the Rotary world be talking about? Will they be talking about the way your club dreamed of exceptional service to this community and worked together unselfishly to make it happen? Will they be talking about the passion your club developed for the Rotary Foundation, or how your Rotary Club became an example for all of the clubs in District 6110? Will they be talking about you? Will they be remembering the contribution you made to your community and the world through your Rotary Club? Every week there are new Ben Salzmans around the world being invited to join Rotary, and they will provide the vision and leadership for Rotary into the next 70 years. I challenge you to teach the ones who will join your club in years to come the stories of where we've come, the dreams and projects that we've shared together, and above all, teach them how to do Rotary the right way, with enthusiasm and purpose, with service above self as the primary motivator of what we plan, and the four-way test our guide to take us there with integrity. My fellow Rotarians, as you reflect on the example of service to mankind set by Dr. Ben Salzman, let me encourage you to be one of the ones that Rotary history will remember.